My devotion to serving was selfless, and I never saw myself sacrificing myself, even though I readily deployed to Desert Shield and maintained my physical commitment and showed up for work every day and served this country and took an oath multiple times that I would defend this country, foreign and domestic. Maybe sacrifice is our own personal, whatever that is, taking a back seat. But I didn't say I'm putting myself in the back seat. It was more that I wanted to serve. So maybe sacrifice is serving. And just knowing that what I was doing was so important to this country and to its mission and to preserving the ideals of our Constitution. I think sacrifice for me was just not making myself more important, sacrificing myself for the greater good, I guess, if that's what it was. My research at AFIT was on a Russian spatial light modulator, which is a very unusual semiconductor device, optical device. And of course, this is a number of years ago, but at the time, there was this novel approach to building a semiconductor laser that could take a look at a scene and through the electric field response in the semiconductor device, you could tell what pieces of the scene were moving and what weren't. And so that was very compelling, of course, because you could see things like tanks moving along a road and among stationary trees or troops or what have you. And so my research was intimately guided toward eventually developing systems that would be able to do this. And I remember the morning I had to defend my thesis.
Yeah.
I mean, there was this panel of Air Force officers and high-level civilians, GS-15s and SCSs. I was just a young first lieutenant at the time. And I mean, it was intimidating, but I had spent 14 months doing this research and writing this paper. Well, nevertheless, I got up, I defended my research, and sure enough, I had several action items I had to complete in order for me to be ratified, for the thesis to be ratified. And I went to the Air Force Museum, which is across the base. And rather than just diving into those action items, I actually took time to reflect on what it was that I had done and why this feedback, despite it being a little painful that I had several more things I had to accomplish in a very short amount of time, I went there to remind myself what the point was. This is a picture of my graduating class from AFIT. There were only 11 electro-optics engineers being graduated then. He was an EF-111 pilot, electronic warfare pilot in Desert Shield, Desert Storm. So I had a great deal of respect for him. And Dr. Luke was a brilliant physicist who inspired a lot of that work I spoke about. And so these men became comrades of mine, and I was obviously in a very unusual place, being the only female. I think there were 556 men in the engineering school at AFIT and only 12 women at the time.